Hello, this is Mickey Roberts. I'm an attorney here in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Today I wanted to talk to you about what you should do if you are arrested for DUI in Georgia and then the police officer asks you to take a state-administered chemical test of either your blood, breath, or urine. For many years I advised people to consider that if you had had too much to drink, so that perhaps your legal blood alcohol limit was above the 0.08 limit, you might consider not taking or refusing any state-administered test. The reason being, of course, is that the higher you were above a 0.08, the more difficult it would become to win your DUI case. Now, because of some recent actions by police in the state of Georgia, I am now reconsidering that advice. In Georgia, if you refuse to take a state chemical test after arrest, your license or privilege to drive in Georgia can be suspended for a year, and there is no limited work permit available during that year. What is happening now in most counties is that police officers are becoming much more aggressive in trying to suspend a person's driver's license for a year if that person refuses to take the test after the arrest. And in some counties, police officers are obtaining search warrants and are forcibly taking blood from an individual to obtain their blood alcohol content. In Georgia, the implied consent warning states that after the arrest, the officer can request a test of your blood, breath, urine, or other bodily substance. And then once you take the test or test that the officer wants you to take, then you are entitled by law to an independent test of your own choosing. And that can be of blood, breath, urine, or any other bodily substance to determine the presence of alcohol or drugs. So you may want to consider this. If you refuse to take a state-administered test nowadays, the odds are that you are going to be put into a situation where you may lose your driver's license for a year, or you are going to have to agree with a police officer that you are going to plead guilty to the DUI, and in return the police officer will withdraw any one-year suspension. So with that knowledge, you may want to consider taking any state chemical test that the officer asks you to take, and then requesting an independent test of your own. Perhaps a blood test, but more likely I would ask for either a saliva test or a hair follicle test. Remember this, if the officer does not reasonably accommodate you for your independent test, meaning they don't take you somewhere to either get your blood or more likely your hair follicle or saliva, then the state test results cannot be introduced into evidence against you. So again, I know this is very complicated. It probably will be very difficult to remember this advice if you're stopped and you're on the side of the road and in handcuffs, but the advice nowadays is you may want to consider going ahead and taking any state-administered chemical test and then asking for an independent test of your own choosing.